about men, they will ruin your life, period. What's good, you guys? It's me, and I'm back with another video. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, turn on your post notifications, follow me on all my social media accounts down below in the description box, and without further ado, let's get started. As you guys can tell by the title, we're going to be doing a girl talk chit chat video today. I asked you guys on Snapchat to send in some questions, and you did, so that is what we're doing. So go ahead, grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's get right on into this video. All right, so the first question is, how can I be more confident? For me, or just in general, I think that confidence is a journey that a lot of women struggle with for a large portion of their lives. And I think it's really about how you take care of yourself. It's so important to be nice to yourself, talk nice to yourself, and just be nice to yourself. Like, if you walk around calling yourself ugly all the time, like, oh my gosh, I'm so ugly, you're gonna feel ugly. If you walk around saying that, like, damn, I'm a bad bitch, you're gonna feel like a bad bitch. So be a bad bitch, tell yourself that you're a bad bitch, and be a bad bitch, period. Like, just stop being like a negative critic all the time. When you do little things, give yourself a cookie, like, congratulate yourself, go do all the shit that you want other people to do for you, for yourself, and you're gonna feel better. Do unnecessary all the time, like face mask and all these other things. Just take care of yourself, and naturally you're gonna feel better. So that is my answer for that. The next question is, how can I be expressive without being rude? I don't think that being opinionated equates to being a bitch. So just clock your delivery. You don't have to say anything rude to express yourself. All right, so this next question is, how can I tell if somebody is really my friend? Pay attention. It's all in your face all the time. You just don't notice it because you think, oh, that's my friend, they didn't mean it like that. Pay attention to the jokes people make. Watch how they react when something good happens to you. If you tell them something and it gets to somebody else, pay attention. Because realistically, the people who don't like you the most are the people who are the closest to you, believe it or not. It's always somebody out of your inner circle who starts doing sneaky shit, and then it becomes a thing. And then you create a whole bunch of cliques that don't like you for trusting somebody, you know? I would recommend that if you ever have to vent to somebody, leave out certain details or even add in certain details. I'm not saying lie, but like, when you're telling a story, just add something dramatic in there. Even if it did happen, the most dramatic part of the story, tell them, but don't tell them the important stuff that you wouldn't want other people to know. So let's say I go to Starbucks and they make my drink wrong. I'm gonna be like, instead of just saying they made my drink wrong, I'm gonna say they added cinnamon in my drink, and I didn't ask for that shit. And then watch, the next week if somebody comes up to me and says, I heard that bitch had cinnamon in her coffee, I'm gonna know that this person is telling my business. You know what I'm saying? So do something like that. You'll know. Especially when people joke around you. Like, I still have people around me who will joke about little things. Like, let's say you're insecure about your weight and they say like, oh, you're eating again? Like, bitch, you're being shady. Or if something good happens to you and they say like, oh, never thought you were gonna do that. Like, people are very out there with how they feel about you. If somebody doesn't like you, they won't be able to hide it. So they'll pass it as a joke. So just pay attention to the people that you talk to. If somebody says, what kind of music do I like? I love all kinds of music. Every single genre out there, I love it. The thing that I guess techno music is like the only thing that I don't like. But aside from that, I love everything. The next question is, how is it moving out of my parents' house, and has it been any different? It's been amazing. It was never hard moving out. I wanted to leave for a long time, so leaving the house was not an issue for me. And it really hasn't been that different. I really just wanted to be by myself. I've never been the type of kid to do bad shit. Like, I wouldn't sneak out or bring people in the house. So as an adult, I'm not doing that either, especially since we're in quarantine. But I think just knowing that I can do that if I wanted to is good, but nothing's been that different aside from me being able to distance myself. So next question is, how do I stay happy single? Loving yourself. I think people are so like used to seeing all this lovey-dovey shit online, where like all this romantic stuff, and you're like, oh, I wish I had that all the time, that they don't realize how lucky you are to be single right now. I get you get lonely at night. I feel that. I understand it. But being by myself is actually such a blessing, because one, I've learned that I really do love myself a lot. Two, outside of those pictures, you don't know what's happening in that relationship. Because watch, the second they break up, all the tea starts coming out. You hear that, oh my gosh, this dude has been cheating on me for 5 months and he promised he would never do it again. That was an L on your part anyway. But you hear all this stuff coming out once they break up for a minute. Like once they have a really bad argument that they can't really come back from, they start spilling the tea, and you get to realize that these relationships are not what they seem to be, especially because I had a public relationship and it was not what we were putting out, basically. So being single is nice. You're less stressed than you would be if you were in a relationship. You don't have expectations. You don't feel obligated to do shit for somebody else. Love yourself. All that love that you feel like you're missing out on, give it to yourself and you'll be happy as hell being single. Someone said, what age should I have sex? The first answer would be when you're comfortable, but I would recommend that you wait until you're 18 and you're an actual adult and you can actually figure out the motive behind why they want to sleep with you and everything of that nature. Because below 18, I promise you, you will not be sleeping with that person for the rest of your life. It's not going to be genuine, and it's not going to be something that is in your best interest, is what I'm trying to get at. Like at 16, first of all, it's probably going to be some 18-year-old guy, which is sick, but it's probably somebody older who just sees you as somebody who's easy and naive and wants to take, you know, your purity away from you. So keep it as long as you possibly can, because these dudes don't have any good intentions, and I'm letting you know that now. So wait, you're not missing out on anything. Your first time is probably going to be trash. That's just the reality of it. When you're 18, you're dealing with another adult, so they probably know what they're doing, and you're probably going to enjoy it more. So if you wait until you're 18, it won't mess you up mentally for the most part. So yeah. How often should I shave down there? As much as you need to. I wouldn't recommend shaving, more so like hair removal lotions, because if you're not using the correct shaving stuff, you might get bumpy down there, and that's not cute. So, you know, waxing, different alternatives other than shaving should help you out. Should I use tampons or pads? It's up to you. I prefer tampons because I don't like feeling gross all day. I'm OCD about shit like that, so tampons. That one was a two-part, I guess, because the next one is, can I use a tampon without having had sex? Using a tampon does not mean that you've had sex. It simply means that you don't want to sit in a mess all day, because with pads are just fucking gross to me. The only time I recommend using them is with a tampon. So like if you're somebody who bleeds heavy, or like it's the first couple of days where it's naturally heavier, wear a pad too, but that's just to protect your underwear. I honestly don't know why people equate tampons with being sexually active. It doesn't. There's different sizes. You don't have to be big as hell down there to fit a tampon in. So someone says, how did you stop caring about other people's opinions? It was in middle school when, I'm gonna have to go off a tangent really quick, but you know how in movies they show high school as being like this eventful thing where everybody gets to do what they want basically, and they always pick on like the nerds, the skinny kids who can't defend themselves, when realistically the only people who get bullied are the people who don't want to be friends with the cool kids who aren't nerds. And that was me. I was somewhere in the middle, right? And people would bully me in order to like make their friends laugh, even though they had nothing to say. So in private though, whenever their friends were getting on their nerves, they'd vent to me. So I knew everybody's business. So while they were bullying me and all that, I knew their tea. So I wasn't really pressed, because you're doing that because you want their validation. I don't give a damn, and I know your business. So just knowing that other people are literally going through their own things, their opinion doesn't matter. That's the best way I could put it. At the end of the day, caskets do not come with bunk beds. You're going to be in there by yourself. It doesn't matter how many people show up to the funeral. You're laying there alone. So your opinions, your thoughts, your views, everything that pertains to you is on you. So anything that doesn't align with that, cut it out. Have I ever tried a diva cup? No, I've not. I've literally only used tampons. What do you do when your partner makes you feel insecure? Well, one, you discuss it with them, and then if nothing changes within a week, then you dip, period. Would I consider texting cheating? And what would you consider emotional cheating? So I feel like I talked about this a little bit in another video, but yes, I consider texting cheating because you have my number. There's no reason to be texting anybody else, because texting means that you're trying to get to know somebody else, and you shouldn't be trying to get to know anybody if you're with me. You understand what I'm saying? So like, texting leads to emotional cheating, and I don't want to be cheated on at all. So you shouldn't be texting, doing none of that weird stuff. If it's not your friend already, you don't need to be texting them. You shouldn't even get their number, and you shouldn't be emotional with them. It's very self-explanatory for emotional cheating. Like, I've never emotionally cheated, but whenever I saw myself being interested in other people, because naturally if I like somebody, everybody's ugly to me immediately, and like I have no interest in being with anybody else. So when I finally see myself finding other people attractive, I gotta step back and like cut you off. Like, I gotta leave, I gotta break up with you, because that's not right and that's not fair to you that I feel that way and you don't. Like, you're all for me and I'm not for you anymore, you know what I'm saying? So if you even feel like it's something there, then you have to talk about it. You have to communicate. And if the communication don't change within a week, then it's done for already. They're already on to the next, period. What do you do if your boyfriend keeps trying to change you? Leave. Because to an extent, I understand making upgrades in a relationship. I've upgraded a lot of dudes. But to actually change them as a person, like let's say you are this goofy, bubbly person and they want you to tone it down and be more serious, you leave, because that's who you are and you shouldn't have to change that. They met you as a bubbly, funny person, so them wanting to change you means that they're not happy with who you are. And if they're not happy with who you are, then you don't need to be with them. How do you manage a relationship as a teenager versus as an adult? I think it's kind of the same thing, because if you guys go to the same school, or you don't, specifically if you don't go to the same school, there's going to be challenges and you guys have to make time to text each other. Because at least for me, the schools that I went to, they were pretty strict on the phone thing. So you would have to sneak to text, or they would try to take your phone. Nobody was going to take my phone, but still, like, the same way you have to make time and prioritize, like, okay, I'm at school, I need to focus on my work, and then in my free time I can text you and we can be together, and then when we're out of school, yay, we get to hang out, go to the movies and shit like that. It's all about balance. At the end of the day, people make time for what they want to make time for, so if they don't make time for you, you gotta go. Like, I feel like I'm just telling you guys to leave whoever you're with, but don't waste your time. Like, seriously, I wasted 5 years of my life dealing with idiots who didn't appreciate me. So I really don't want y'all to be like, oh, but maybe he'll change. He won't. He literally won't. Don't waste your time. Go have fun, live your life, have fun, and then worry about settling down and whatever else you choose to do after that. But right now, you really don't need to be worried about guys, especially if you're still in school, like high school and shit like that. Focus on your schoolwork, focus on getting that bag and making it work. Because one thing about men, they will ruin your life, period. But as for the second part, as an adult, it's the same thing, because you have a job. Realistically, the scheduling of school and work are kind of the same thing. You're in a building or like wherever you work at, you're working for like 8 hours a day or something. So you don't get to cuddle with your significant other while you're at work. You have to make time for things like that. So priorities, if they're not prioritizing you, then it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, how do I, all right, so the next question is, how do I get over a breakup? I have never had a healthy way of getting over breakups because I had such bad relationships. So my advice to you guys would be, allow yourself to feel the emotions for the first month. I don't know how long it takes you guys to get over whatever it is, because for me, I don't date just to date. I'm dating because I plan to marry you. And even though I knew that these people were not for me, it still hurt at the end because I actually did care. So instead of actually allowing myself to be sad, I made myself busy with work. I always turn to the bag if I'm upset emotionally. And it's not good, because if you continue holding those emotions in, they're going to drag out, and they dragged out for 5 years for me. So I recommend you give yourself a month, be upset, don't starve yourself, eat healthy. So by the time you're done being sad, you're fit. All you gotta do is work out now, tone yourself up, and you good, you're summer ready for the streets. And if you're sad for over a month, then I would say make efforts to do things that make you happy. So the first step is feel the emotions. Second step is get back outside, go have fun, hang out with your friends, talk to people if you need to talk to them, and then you should be fine within 3 months, okay? This is a 3-month span at most. It shouldn't go over that. I hope you get over it within a month, but 3 months to allow yourself to get back to being normal. And that's at least a way to be successful after breakup. So yeah. Somebody said, how do you know if you're doing too much in a relationship, and what do you do if the effort isn't equal? Communicate. Again, you talk to your partner about this. If nothing changes within a week of you saying this, then they don't care. That's just what it is. You guys have to start seeing things how they are. How they treat you is how they feel about you. There's no confusion in there, okay? They say that they miss you and they're not talking to you, then they don't actually miss you. You know what I'm saying? So if you tell them that you feel like you're doing too much and they don't do more, then you simply do the same as them. You don't have to leave them immediately, but give them the same energy. Reciprocate that energy to them, and if they start having a problem with that, they'll do more. And if they don't care, then leave. It's just that simple. If your man is distant, what should you do? Again, communicate. If he's distant and he doesn't get closer to you, you tell them I feel like we're not as close as we were, and they don't change anything within a week. Reciprocate. Be distant with them. And if they don't care, you leave. Just like that. It's really about seeing things for how they are, not making excuses, because I know that we as women, we try our best to make excuses for these dudes because we believe in the fairy tales, and the fairy tale ain't real. I'm letting y'all know that now. Look at things how they are. If somebody says that they miss you and they're not talking to you, it's because they don't miss you. If somebody says that they want to see you and they don't FaceTime you or come and see you, they don't really want to see you. If he's just not that into you, watch the movie and I promise you it's gonna help you. Next question is, how do you stay confident in a relationship? And what do you do if your boyfriend is making you insecure? I feel like I already answered this, but don't change yourself. If you're this bubbly, fun person who's very work oriented and you have your own life, don't change that for them. It's all about fitting them into your life as it is. You don't have to make drastic changes, you don't have to stop going to work because you have a relationship and now you have to give them your time. No, when you're not working, you can handle them. When you're not busy, you can talk to them. That's what I did, and that's what's been really helping me not get hurt in all of this, because somebody who loves you, or somebody who at least likes you, would respect your life. You know that I'm working, you know that I'm a busy person, and you know that this is what matters to me, that this is what my passion is. So if you're asking me to change that, it means you don't respect me or my passions in life, which means that that's just not the person for you. You know what I'm saying? If they make you insecure as well, they don't like you, Your significant other should make you feel like the baddest bitch of all. So communicate that to him. Say you make me feel like shit, and if nothing changes, again, leave. How much baggage is too much baggage? We all come into a relationship with baggage. I know that I have issues myself, but I never make that the other person's problem, because at the end of the day, it's not. Me, for example, let's say I have trust issues, right? From being cheated on. This person has not cheated on me, so it's not their fault that I feel that way. I can't say, you're not reassuring me every 5 seconds, so I feel like you're probably cheating or something. That's too much baggage. If you need to heal. That's the biggest part of all this. You have to heal before you come into somebody else's life and start dealing with them. Because if those things aren't healed, it's gonna be a problem. And again, it's not their responsibility to make you feel comfortable with your trust issues and your baggage. You need to figure that out by yourself. But too much baggage is when it starts causing issues on a regular basis. It's okay. Like, if you have trust issues, just let them know, like, hey, I need you to reassure me a little bit more. And if they like you, they'll do it. But if you have like deep issues, then respect them enough to leave them alone until you can have that figured out. Like, being in a relationship, it's about bettering each other. So you can have baggage, you can have trust issues, and I'll help you through that. But again, not at my expense. It's not my responsibility to help you fix your shit. I'm gonna help you because I care about you. Aside from that, I'm not obligated to do shit. So I treat you right in the relationship. That's my job, and that's it. How do you deal with controlling family? Now, if you're under the same roof as them, I recommend you wait it out. Be working, make yourself busy, be working, like I said, to get out of that situation, and then after that, you don't have to deal with it. Now, if you're not under the same roof as your controlling family, then don't deal with it. Maybe it's just me because blood doesn't run thick on this side, but I personally do not care who you are, family, friend, whatever the fuck. If you're not making me happy and I'm unhappy around you, I will simply not deal with you. It's just that easy for me because, like I said, caskets don't have bunk beds. I'm gonna be in that bitch alone. So I'm not gonna spend my time that I do have being upset simply because we're related. That is stupid. So yeah, save your money, move out, don't deal with it anymore. Work it out if you want, if you can, but again, you're not obligated to deal with people's shit simply because you're related. Somebody asked a really serious question, so trigger warning to whoever needs it, but they said, how do you know if your significant other is being emotionally abusive? I want to be soft on that topic because I feel like everything has become a trend to people these days. Abuse in general is serious. It's not something that you just throw around. These aren't terms that you go around saying like, oh my gosh, I'm depressed. Oh my gosh, I have a mental illness. You don't go around saying shit like that. People are actually suffering, losing their lives, and unable to function every single day. So when you sit up here and say that, oh my gosh, I'm bipolar, like, if you don't get diagnosed, don't say it. Don't say it, because you could be just going through things. As humans, we all go through something at some point. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's something mentally wrong with us. It doesn't mean that you have a disorder. You're going through things. We're gonna feel everything at some point. Somebody's gonna die one day and you're gonna be upset. You're reasonably depressed. It doesn't mean that you suffer from depression. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're nervous sometimes, like let's say you're getting on a roller coaster and you're at the top and it's about to fall and you don't know when, it's okay to get that anxiety. It's natural to be anxious in that moment. If you're scared to talk to somebody about something, it's natural anxiety. When being in a big ass group makes you nervous, that's normal anxiety. You're feeling that way for a reason. There's certain people out here who just don't feel comfortable living because they're actually suffering from shit like that. And every time something becomes popular on the internet, it's just taken to the point of no return. Like, you have 15-year-olds telling other people that they have mental illnesses. It's ridiculous. So when you say that somebody's being emotionally abusive, okay, this is not against whoever asked that question, but keep in mind the term abuse can put somebody in jail. So it doesn't matter if you're with a woman, a man, emotional abuse is a big thing. Abuse in general is a big thing. You don't just throw that term around. So to know if you're being emotionally abused, there's levels to this shit. But if that person is belittling you to control you, that is emotionally abusive. With the intent to control. That is, I'm sure that's not the book definition of it, but I'm telling you, when somebody is purposefully trying to put you down so they can get control of you and do as they please, that is emotionally abusive. Now, if this person is just telling you something that you don't like, let's say you're having a disagreement, let's say you say the sky is green and they say, no, the sky is blue and you're fucking stupid if you think that the sky is green. Harsh words, but emotionally abusive, no. Because at the end of the day, you're wrong. The sky is not green. You know what I'm saying? They just need to be nicer to you. That's something that can be discussed. But emotional abuse, that is somebody who has the intent to belittle you in order to control you. Those are the type of people. It's never just emotional abuse. You know what I'm saying? It gets worse. So if somebody is doing that already, perfect example would be, if you guys watch Family Guy, look on YouTube. If you're, age-wise, it's up to you. I'm not your parent. But look up Quagmire's sister. If you see like that dynamic between his sister and her boyfriend who is being abusive physically, emotionally, all that, you can see like he purposefully puts her down so he can control her, because now she's afraid to do anything because he does hit her too. So, you know, let's just educate ourselves on mental illnesses and all these other terms before we use them as a community, okay? Next question is, how do you initiate things in the bedroom? I'm gonna take that as more of an advice thing. Always make sure it's consensual, and, you know, tell your partner. I don't know how you would initiate, like, things just happen, you know, like, to actually initiate it, I don't know, like, you smell good. Like, I've never done these things, but I guess you would just say, like, compliment them and be like, oh, you're so cute. Lean in or something, be like, oh, the bed. I'm not good with shit like that, so figure it out. I'm sure if that person actually likes you, it'll work out regardless. But somebody said, how do I tell my boyfriend that he kind of stinks? I don't know. I'm guessing that this is new because you can't meet him and he stinks and then stay with him and then expect something to change. But if you guys are intimate, be like, babe, let's go take a shower, and then like scrub it, dub that ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, recommend a different soap. Just like see if there's an actual issue. If he just stinks, then he just stinks. And I don't know. Like, imagine finding out that your girlfriend or whatever is messaging somebody because you stink. That is so funny. Can I talk about STIs? STIs. I don't really think there's much for me to say on the topic, but just if you're going to be intimate with somebody, make sure that you're being safe. Use condoms. I don't care what anybody else says, use condoms. You're not ready for a kid until you can't even take care of yourself right now. You're not ready for a kid. So be safe, make sure that there's consent, and yeah. This last question is, how do you know when someone is the one? I want to give you guys an in-depth answer in like a year, but right now, I'm gonna say that you will know. Like, it's gonna feel different, completely different. And I'm not just talking about, oh, it's different because this is a different person. Absolutely not. That's fake. I mean, you're gonna be confused as hell because you're gonna be like, I just met this person and it feels like we were meant to be, period. You know what I'm saying? So I'll answer in about a year. I'm still trying to figure that out, but all right, right, y'all, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. Follow me on all my social media accounts down below in the description box, as well as right here. Y'all, I post on my Instagram almost every single day, so make sure you have your post notifications on there. You guys can leave a red heart so I know that you're from YouTube, as well as me doing a giveaway soon. So make sure you have your post notifications turned on for my channel as well. And let me know in the comments if you guys want more chit chat videos where we sit down and talk and I answer your questions. And aside from that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.